Peace, people. What's going on? You read the title. You guys know what I want to talk about. Before I start, give you guys, if you guys could give a moment of silence. All right. You guys might know. You guys might not know. Sean Price of Dug Down Records fame. Ruck, aka Ruck of Heltah Skeltah, aka Donkey Sean Price Jr. Donkey Sean Jr. has passed away early Saturday morning, August 8th of this year, 2 days ago. He actually died in his sleep. His wife actually found him dead, well, which is unfortunate. He died in his sleep, like I said. Um, how I found out about this is that, one of my friends on Facebook, Justice, you know who you are, he actually wrote on my wall saying like, "Yo, Sean P, he died last night." DJ Premier had said it in his IG. I'm like, get the fuck out! There's no way. I said something about I'm not gonna jump the gun until I get more credible sources, and I respect DJ Premier. He's a hip hop guy to me. I went on his Facebook. I mean, not his Facebook, his Instagram, because I follow him on Instagram, and he said it. I believe he was the first artist, to post it on social media to let the world know that he passed away. I was like, nah, I could not believe it. And then other people was telling me like, Immortal Technique, a couple other people, Evil D, started saying that. When I heard Evil D, that's when I knew this shit was real. And I started seeing other artists like, I was close to him, like, Sadat X, Aguilar, who has worked with Sean Price over the years, like, from back in the day. Lord Digger, to the point that I see both of them tearing up on social media. I was like, damn, that shit is just crazy. So that's when I knew shit was real. And from then on, I just started playing nothing but Sean P songs, Heltah Skeltah songs that he was featured on, shit like that. Throughout half the day I was doing nothing but that. But then I had to turn them off. Like, I had to like stop listening to his music, just because I just couldn't believe. I was just in shock. You know what I mean? And I had people, asking me, "Oh, you heard about Sean P dying?" I'm like, yeah, it's crazy. It's fucked up. It's fucked up for hip hop. It's a big blow for hip hop. I don't care what nobody says. I had people like tagging me, like sending, videos that he's done for like comedy skits that he's done. Which I've seen them all, but some of them I just couldn't watch just because of the fact that I was still shocked. Like, I just didn't want to hear his voice. I didn't want to hear no music from it. It's like it was that crazy to me, man. It's like, why Sean Price? You know what I mean? Like, it's just something you wouldn't expect, especially coming from Sean Price. Like, you would never expect. He's like one of those dudes that should never die. You know what I mean? But even though we all have our time, but still, even so, you know what I mean? My introduction to Sean Price was actually back in 2001, when I used to have my PS2, and I had gotten my Grand Theft Auto 3 for PS2. And if you guys play that game, classic video game, they had a radio station called Game Radio, and that was the hip hop station. And one of the songs that was featured on that radio station was "Rising to the Top" by Sean Price, or Ruck of Heltah Skeltah. But by that time, he went by Sean Price, and that was actually my introduction to him, and as well as Aguilar, because I didn't know who Aguilar was, and I instantly became a fan of them just based on that song. And I just started looking stuff up from them, and then that's how I got into like Heltah Skeltah, the Boot Camp Click, excuse me, Black Moon, Original Gun Clappers, another dope group that rarely gets mentioned, Smith and Wesson, stuff like that. And eventually I started buying like the first two Heltah Skeltah albums. I need to get the Dirt album, the Incredible Rap Team. I need to get my hands on that. And then he started putting out various mixtapes. He put out he had a series called the Donkey Sean Jr. mixtape with PF Cuttin. Shout out to my dude PF Cuttin. Um, things like that. He started putting stuff out like that. Then he put out 3 solo albums, which included Monkey Bars, which I need to get my hands on. I don't have it. Jesus Christ Superstar, which I do have, and Mike Tyson, which I need to get my hands on. I just never got around to getting to those albums, but I will get them eventually. Definitely will now. I actually had the honor of meeting Sean Price back in 2010 at the 15-year anniversary of Duck Down Records. This is the teacher that copped it. Where I got it from. You know what I mean? Pretty dope. It's kind of a play on of Duck Hunt from 1985 off of NES or from my Nintendo heads. Definitely had to pick it up because it stood out to me, and me being a Nintendo head, particularly a Super Nintendo fan, excuse me. And this is the ticket of where I met Sean Price at, right here, as you can see, 15th anniversary. Probably the best $25 I spent in my life. Let me just show you guys one more time. Okay. So the concert took place downtown Fort Lauderdale, and at Club Revolution. Club Revolution, you guys might know, is dope. Is a dope concert play, like stage and stuff like that. It's like right in downtown Fort Lauderdale, like I said, like Las Olas area and stuff like that, right by the art district. And I actually met Sean Price. He was outside. He was in his white tee, but like the Hanes ones, like the ones you sleep in, and he had on a navy blue sweatpants, and he had on the beanie that he always rocked. He had a beanie on that he always rocked, to the tilted to the side. He had the fresh clean baldy. And I approached him like, yo, peace. And he said, peace. I gave him dap. I gave him dap and stuff like that. If you guys met Sean P personally, he gives you dap. You know how thick his hand is. Like his shit, he's like mad brolic. Like he's like a beast. You know what I mean? I spoke to him. I told him like, I think you're one of the illest MCs to touch the mic. I said something to that effect. And he said, yo, I appreciate that. Thank you. You know what I mean? And then I asked him if I could take a picture. He was like, nah, I'm in my pajamas and shit. That's what he said. So yeah, I could respect that. He said after the show, I'm like, alright, cool. I could do that. You know what I mean? But I did end up speaking with him for like 2-3 minutes. Like I asked him a couple questions. Like I asked him about how because Random Acts at the time came out with this single Random Call, and I told him like, yo, that shit is hot. You know what I'm saying? And I asked him like when the album was coming out. And he told me the album was finished. They just have to have it mixed and mastered. So, and the album ended up coming out this next year, back in 2011. That's a dope album. Definitely check that album out. And then I also asked him about Mike Tyson, because he kept talking about Mike Tyson. Yo, my next album is Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? And so I asked him about Mike Tyson album. I asked him like, when is the album coming out? He was like, yo, when it's ready. I was like, I could respect that. And lo and behold, 2 years later, the album came out, and it was definitely worth the wait, because the album is fucking sick. You know what I mean? And if you guys ever seen him live, and you guys know what I'm talking about, his stage performance is crazy. Like how you hear him on the album is the same way you hear him in the concerts, and that's very rare today. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, I never got to take that picture with him. I was just so exhausted, like from me screaming and yelling, and you know what I mean, just being all hyped up. But just the fact that he gave me the time to actually speak with him, asking questions, and him give me dap and shit like that. You know what I mean? That right there, that speaks volumes to me. So I left it at that. The pictures are right here. You know what I mean? Gone too soon, man. Gone too fucking soon. And he had a lot of works. He had a lot going on for him as far as music wise. Like he actually had a project coming out soon. It's actually coming out next week Friday. It's actually called The Songs in the Key of Price. It's kind of a play on of Stevie Wonder's The Songs of the Key of Life. Same album cover, but different color and stuff like that. That's supposed to come out next week Friday. So definitely support that. He also had works he actually had a collaboration album that he was gonna do with Ill Bill of non-fiction fame, Necro's brother, another dope MC and producer too as well. Um, it was being a collective called Pill, P being the play on of Sean P's name, and Ill the play on of his name Ill from Ill Bill and shit. And it's gonna be a collective called Pill. And I'm assuming that would be the name of the album. Man, I would love to hear that. I don't know if they recorded the album, recorded some material or something. I would love to hear that, man, because both them two together, I could just only imagine the fucking shit that they're saying and stuff like that. Um, he also was also in the works of an album, a collaboration album with Little Fame of MOP. Little Fame being doing all the beats. Um, kind of similar to Physiology with him and on Terminology. Another dope album too. Terminology, I feel like gets shitted on for no reason because I think he's a dope MC, um, but yeah, that would have been so fucking ill. Like, I'm just so glad that Little Fame is finally getting his shine as a producer and an MC. That he's getting the his just due finally, because his beats, man. I mean, oh my god, Sean P over Little Fame beats. I mean, oh my god. I hope they recorded some material or the album's finished. I hope the world gets to hear that because we deserve that. We need to hear that shit, man. Who knows? Maybe even if it's an EP, I don't care. Please put that out. I mean, obviously not now. The time is not right, but when the time is right, put it out. You know what I mean? Um, but it's cool. It's funny because I'm on Facebook and then I'm seeing I'm friends with personal friends of his, like people that were actually close with him. A couple of cats that was part of this Decepticon crew. That's Decepticons, and people that are low lives. You know what I mean? I'm friends with them on Facebook and stuff like that. We talk on a regular, and just them sharing personal stories. Like for example, your boy Age the Coroner that rolls with Mayhem Lauren and Action Bronson. The whole outdoorsman crew. He was just saying how when they first met, just Sean Price just giving him props and stuff like that, and how they would be on the phone for hours, just kind of spitting each other new verses, just pretty much getting their swords sharpened and stuff like that. I like hearing stories like that. Same thing with Solace from Timeless Truth, another dope group from Queens. Definitely check them out. What else? Sadat X, he actually posted a picture of him and Sean Price last week Sunday. Not this Sunday that passed, but this Sunday that just passed. They both went fishing because Sadat X he was saying how he had to plead Sean Price to come with him to go fishing. It was like pulling teeth, but he finally gave in. They went fishing. They had a time of their life. I mean, he posted on Instagram, posted on Facebook, and I thought that was pretty cool, man. You know what I mean? And it's funny too because when I listened to Heltah Skeltah, when I first listened to Heltah Skeltah, I'm not gonna lie, Ruck wasn't my favorite member of the group. I liked him, or Sean Price, but he wasn't my favorite. It was actually Rock, and that was because of his voice. You know what I mean? It stood out. But Ruck was the better lyricist out of the group. Not to say that Rock is not a lyric, because he's dope. I think he's dope. He has an ill voice, but I would always felt like Sean Price was the better lyricist out of the group. And he changed his name because he wanted a solo career, and that was the smartest thing he did. You know what I mean? And that helped him a lot. Got him a lot of features, a lot of endorsements and stuff like that. Just a lot of stuff going on for him. Put out countless mixtapes like Master P, like I said, the Donkey Sean Jr. mixtape, things like that, and it had a lot going on for him. And I also heard that Random Acts was actually working on the album too, and it was supposed to come out sometime this year, like in the fall of this year. I don't know if that's happening. I don't know. Let me know how that goes, because I would love to hear another Random Acts album too. And shout out to my nigga Justin, who lives in Japan now. he actually gave me his copy of Passion of Price. This was released in 2005. This was actually promoting Monkey Bars, because that album Monkey Bars came out in 2005. And so this album is just pretty. This DVD is actually promoted. It's about 60 minutes long, about an hour long. It's pretty much just showing you where he lived back in the day in the projects and where he lives now. Just pretty much an autobiography of Sean P, and I think it's pretty cool. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate he leaves a wife and 3 kids. I can just only imagine the pain they're going through. I could relate to that. Me losing my father back in 1994 through the cancer. I was 7 at the time. But then, I was an only child at the time. But then my mom gave birth to my little brother back in 2 years later, back in 96. So I could definitely relate to that pain. You know what I mean? But Sean P, he was definitely one of those MCs that came from a rare breed. Like what I liked about him was the fact that he never held his tongue. He told it like it is. You know what I mean? I respect that. I wish MCs were more like that. That's why I respect Lord Jamar. I know most of the stuff I do agree with him. Certain stuff I don't agree with, but I do respect the fact he speaks his mind. And people always like to say, "Oh, he's a hater," blah blah blah. No, he's speaking his mind. That's just the era that he's from. Same thing with Sean Price. You know what I mean? Excuse me. Yeah, man. And you guys might agree with me what I'm about to say, but I feel like Sean Price saved Duckdown Records from obscurity, because I remember when Duckdown Records was popping back in the mid '90s. They had their heyday back in the mid '90s, all the way to maybe to 98, 99, and around the late '90s is when they started going kind of like into obscurity. People weren't really checking for them like that, and and then when they came out with the Boot Camp Click album, The Chosen Few, that came out back in 2002, and I believe it was that song, And So What Happens, that song, when Sean P had his verse, that verse is like one of the realest shit that he had to say. Just say like, he did what he had to do to survive, man. Like, the reason why he wasn't, I believe in that verse he was saying how, the reason why he wasn't doing music, because he was broke, and he had to sell drugs and stuff. Like, he did what he had to do to make money. And I just thought that was like the realest thing he said. Well, that's the only thing, but in the song, like, that was like so real. Is like what I'm trying to say. Yeah, man. Like I said, I feel like he saved Duckdown Records, and you guys might agree with me with that. Maybe not. I don't know, but I feel like he did. Just based on his character, how witty, clever, but at the same time, his sense of humor, but at the same time, his hardcore lyrics and his good ear for beats. I mean, listen to the first 3 albums, Monkey Bars, Jesus Christ, Mike Tyson. I mean, that tells you something. His ear for beats is just fucking crazy. Yeah, man, he's definitely one of the illest, man. I think just based on all the love that he's been getting on social media, I would have to say this has to be one of the biggest deaths in hip hop history since Big Pun. You know what I mean? Which tells me something, that he will be deemed as one of the greatest of all time. He definitely deserves that title. That's just my opinion. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much it, man. Before I forget, this goes out to the collectors out there, because I'm a collector myself. If you guys are gonna sell his music, please do not price gouge. Please do not sell his albums for crazy, outrageous prices, because that shit happens all the time. As soon as the artist dies, you guys want to raise up the prices. That shit, to me, I never understood that logic. Like, for me, like, that is not only selfish on your part, but damn well that money is not going to his family. If you're gonna do that, at least put that towards proceeds to his family, or some shit like that. You know what I mean? It's very selfish, and not to mention morbid. He's just living off his death. You know what I mean? So, and I know it's not the right time to say this, but fuck you to all the to all the media outlets like Complex, Hot 97, several ones that weren't really bumping his music like that, weren't really showing support of his music. But just because he died, now you guys want to give him, you know, oh, condolences and all that bullshit. Nah, man, fuck all that. Fuck you. You guys were not supporters of his. You guys were not supporters of Sean Price. You guys never played his videos. None of that. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention that Duck Down Records actually gave Hot 97 its run. You know, like actually made Hot 97 pop, especially with Diesel Evil D used to work with Hot 97 back in the day. But you guys won't acknowledge that, you know what I mean? And I think that's fucked up. I think you guys definitely should acknowledge Duck Down Records and Sean Price for what they did for your station, the contribution they did for your station, excuse me. Um and that's pretty much it, man. My condolences go to his family, his intermediate family, Rock, his partner in crime, the Duck Down staff, family, to the low lives, 2 L's up, salute to the Decepticons, you know what I mean? That's pretty much it, man. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Allahu Akbar. Salute my G. Peace.